So this is here. Test, test. Hello?
Mic check
Testing?
number one. Mic check number one. Check test. Mic check number one.
Sibilance, rubber baby buggy bumpers.
Mic check number two. Mic check number two. Check test number two.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for being here tonight. I want to begin by saying that I'm part of the faculty that is happy to host this forum tonight. We've done it in the past. I'd like to introduce Joe Ganakis, who is our speech professor, but also has been our outstanding debate coach. So he's been willing to help, and I am happy to assist in this process tonight. So we want to remind you that this is being streamed through YouTube, and we understand there's a lot of people that are already logged in, and we're happy about that. It will be recorded. If you would like a copy of it, we will send out the link. We'd happy to accommodate you in any way. We believe that this forum is an opportunity to hear the candidates' thoughts and ideas about the responsibility of being a Lee College Board of Regent. Questions from the audience have been requested on several occasions. Originally, we didn't know how much time we would have, and in talking, what we've decided is that we will allow you to provide questions for us if you like. I have cards that I will distribute to anybody who would like to print a question. We will collect those after seat 5, which is Regent Susan Moore Fontenot and Heron Thomas exchange their questions. We'll collect them at that time because we'll take a short break. Before then, we go to seat 6, which would be Regent Daryl Fontenot and David Isaac. So that would be the opportunity to provide that information on a card for us. We put a lot of time and thought into what we thought was relevant. And so the questions are based on different categories. Being here as long as we have seen some things that are very important, I think, in the role of the regents. So the questions are under these categories: vision and leadership, educational quality and student success, financial oversight and resource management, community and economic development, technology and innovation, governance and ethical leadership, and personal. I think the last one that I probably didn't get voiced was personal motivation and commitment. So with that in mind, the questions fall under those categories. And so we want you to be very cognizant of that. At this time, what I'm going to do is turn it over to Joe to go through what the format process is. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. So first, welcome everyone to tonight. The format that we're using is a modification of the League of Women Voters format for community forums and public debates that are typically for things like city council candidates, state representatives, and so on. So we feel it's a reasonable analog. We are going to do things by coin flip to determine who's speaking first. Obviously, seat 5, position 5 will go first. There'll be that brief break that Karen described, and then position 6 will go thereafter. Each candidate is permitted a 4-minute opening statement. Following those opening statements, what's going to happen is that we will introduce the question, and whoever wins the coin flip gets to choose their position. Candidate A will have a 2-minute response. Candidate B will then have a 45-second rebuttal, and then candidate A will return for a 30-second rebuttal. We will then flip it where candidate B will receive the question, so on. Each candidate will have the ability to answer 2 questions and, of course, respond to their opponent's questions. Once that's completed, then we're going to allow a 2-minute closing statement by each candidate, going in just candidate A and then candidate B. Following that break, where Karen will receive the questions and go through them and make sure that we're following certain themes, what I would call meta themes for this debate, we'll then resume with the second. And then once that's done, we won't take a break ideally, because this will be running quite long, I think, for the people who are at home and the people in the audience. We'll then allow the audience questions to be asked by the panel up here. And each candidate will have the ability to speak first, second, third, and fourth. 4 questions total. We'll simply go in alphabetical order going through the candidates, and that will conclude the evening. I do want to give a special thank you, not only obviously to the regents that are here and Dr. Villanueva, but I would also like to thank Tara Rambaran, one of the debaters from Lee College. Originally, the team captain was going to be here this evening. She fell down some stairs at Impact Early College High School. I'm saying this so it's preserved on YouTube. She didn't want anyone to know, and now she has to live in infamy. But that being said, Tara has been with the debate team for quite a while. She'll be the timekeeper this evening. So when we get to the end of time and the timer goes, she will at that point say your time is up. We do want to keep it very tight on schedule, and that also goes for the questions that you provide. One of the recommendations I would make is try to ask a very linear question. If you ask a 5-part question, things will get bogged down very quickly and become a bit unwieldy, not just for us, but for the candidates who are sitting up on the dais. Other than that, I encourage everyone to enjoy the evening, think about some questions that you want answered, and we'll get this party started. So we'll begin with seat 5. We will allow the incumbent to call it. Actually, I'm sorry, the challenger to call it in the air. So in this particular situation, call it in the air, heads or tails? It is heads. You have the choice to go first.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is an honor to stand before you today as the most experienced regent and member of the Lee College Board of Regents, and to ask you for your continued trust and support and your vote in the May 3rd election. My commitment to our community, coupled with my background as a 40-plus year educator and HR director for Goose Creek Consolidated Independent School District for 15 years, and teaching at 2 community colleges as an instructor, have equipped me with a wealth of knowledge and personal dedication to continue to represent Lee College on the Board of Regents. Serving this community has been the privilege of a lifetime, and together we have accomplished so much. When you elected me, I promised to listen, to lead, and to fight for the values and needs of students who want to improve their lives through access to higher education. And I'm proud to say that we have done exactly that. Your vote will help ensure that we continue just some of the accomplishments that we've had at Lee College over the last 5 years. I want you to know that we have received the largest amount of state funding under House Bill 8. We've increased state funding from 17% to 33% based on House Bill 8 outcomes. We have first time free at Lee, and I understand that many of you have known someone or have taken advantage of that to get free tuition and books, all because of the funding that we've received from House. We've had the highest enrollment in 3 years in the 91-year history of Lee College. We've increased enrollment for economically and academically disadvantaged students based upon the new funding model. And did I say that I'm chairman of the state organization that has 403 members and 50 community colleges? That has given me the leverage and the understanding of state funding to help advance Lee College. We have lowered our tax rate by 4 times since fiscal year 2020. We have raised the age 65 tax exemption from $50,000 to $120,000, which is a 140% increase. And we've received the largest gift, a $5 million gift from the Mackenzie Scott Foundation. What did we do with that? We poured it back into our Student Resource and Advocacy Center, which addresses the needs of so many students who might be at risk for continuing their education. They get food, they get clothing, they get transportation needs. We get so many opportunities for our students to succeed. And that will explain our graduation rate, which has increased by 15%. Did I say that we have a cheer squad now? And we encourage our members of the community to join us in some of our activities. You will see them all around town. Now, I'm so glad that with how we look at funding in the various pots that we have an increased student tuition in 5 years. That is phenomenal. That's leadership. But my friends, we're not done yet. We have made progress, but there's still work to do. The road ahead requires steady leadership, experience, and a deep commitment to our voters. That's you, not just change for change's sake. Thank you for recognizing my involvement in the community and my work for our students. Thank you very much.
Good evening, friends, neighbors, and members of our Lee College family. First, want to give honor to God for having me here. I'd like to thank my family, friends, and everyone that's here that's been supportive through this whole campaign. My name is Heron Thomas, and I'm honored to stand before you today as a candidate for the Lee College Board of Regents Position 5. I'm running because I believe in the power of education, the importance of responsible leadership, and the strength of our community when we work together. I've been a proud resident of this community for my entire life. Over that time, I've served the community in a variety of ways, whether it be teacher, coach, principal, through local districts, volunteer work, local initiatives, or just being someone who listens and shows up. And now I'm ready to take that service to the next level by representing you on the Board of Regents. Let me share a little bit about why I'm running. First and foremost, I believe in fiscal responsibility. We all feel the pressure of rising costs, from the gas pump to the grocery store. Local government taxes are no exception. You'll constantly hear about tax rates being decreased, but you won't hear that the taxes actually received have increased by 10 million since 2020, okay? You also won't hear how the budget has increased by 30 million, but a very small percentage of that has gone towards student instruction. Lee College should be a resource, not a financial strain. I will work to ensure your hard-earned tax dollars are spent wisely and transparently, focusing on programs that deliver real results for students and the community. Second, I see this role not as a title, but as a commitment to service. Being a regent means listening, truly listening to students, faculty, staff, and residents. It means showing up to ask, how can we do better in all things? And not being afraid to roll up our sleeves and get to work on those answers. I believe a strong college reflects a strong community. And that strength starts with servant leadership, which I've always displayed, and that will continue whether or not I win this election. Lastly, we need better communication. Too often, students and even faculty feel unheard. That disconnect between the administration and people they serve is a problem we can fix. I'm happy to boast and say that I have relationships with every local high school and school district in the area. I have relationships with students where I can walk straight into schools and have real conversations. So I know that the information of all the great things that happen at Lee College do not always trickle down to students. That's something that I plan to address. We have to have meaningful conversations. When students feel seen and heard, they succeed. And when they succeed, we all win. That's truly who this is about. This campaign is not about politics. It's about people. It's about making sure Lee College remains a place where anyone, no matter their background, can get an affordable, high-quality education and feel supported throughout their journey. So ask for your support, not just your vote, but your voice. Let's work together to educate, empower, and elevate to make Lee College stronger, more efficient, and more connected to the people it serves. Thank you for your time, your trust, and the opportunity to serve.
My personal recommendation would be both candidates to stand at the podium since we're going essentially speech, rebuttal, and then another rebuttal. All right, so obviously, Regent Morfontenot, you are in the A position, so you'll be answering the question. Then Mr. Thomas, of course, you'll have the rebuttal and then a 30-second rebuttal from Ms. Morfontenot. Question number one. This is from the category of community and economic development. How do you see the community college's role in supporting local workforce needs?
Okay, first of all, our community college must be in the community. Have advisory boards where our faculty and our staff are a part of that. We must know what those workforce needs are because they are directly related to the student outcomes that are funded in House Bill 8. We have invited our industry partners to become faculty as they have retired from some of industry. They come back and they work and they provide real life experiences that educate our students. I think that maintains a level of engagement on the part of our business and industry. Industry supplies 70% of our tax base. So we definitely want to make sure that our industry is represented throughout the instructional programs and the delivery. A major component of our programming. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Thomas, you have a 45-second rebuttal. The question is, how do you see the community college's role in supporting local workforce needs?
I think that the college has done a great job at supporting those roles. I definitely think it plays a major part in not only preparing students and everyone for jobs that are in the community. I love the fact that they have trades, a lot of things. You know that we're surrounded by chemical plants, so there's always offerings for those. However, I also feel that there should be new innovative ideas, and I think I could play an integral part of that with us building a new campus in the Mont Bellevue area that's supposed to focus on things that aren't offered here at this Lee College campus. So I definitely think that the community will definitely be supportive of that. And I think that we'll continue to prepare students for jobs for now and the future.
Thank you. Ms. Morfontenot, you have a 30-second rebuttal.
Hey, I want to emphasize that our community college provides education for our students throughout the whole state of Texas. Lee College is one of 50. Provide 95% of the education, technical education in the state of Texas. So we do a great job with that. We talked about new programs. Some of our programs that we've added recently are, I just say one word, cybersecurity.
Turn to technology and innovation. Artificial intelligence has been a hot topic since ChatGPT was released in November of 2022. In your view, what is the board's role in helping the college take advantage of the benefits and avoid the perils of this new technology?
My personal opinion is that I think that AI is a very useful tool. I feel that the college should educate students on how to use it for its benefit, also teaching them to create their own new ideas and innovative thoughts. I think that the college should be influential in teaching students how to create their own thoughts and then using AI as a tool to help make their thoughts better. Sometimes students have great ideas, but don't understand just the path or how to get those words out. ChatGPT, AI, and other things of this nature help students, right? It should not be used as a tool to cheat, but it should be as a tool to enhance. Anyone that's working with students of today know that technology and AI is the wave of the future. We cannot sit back and act as if it does not exist. We have to empower students to understand its power and how to better use it. And that's where I feel I can be of great use and benefit. As a current educator and principal, we currently have these conversations on a regular basis. These are things that I'm actively teaching students. This is actually a topic in my mentorship, the TIE program. So I definitely think that AI is the wave of the future, and it's very similar. I grew up with a phone that had a cord. Now we have cell phones. Had I been stuck in my ways and said I'm only gonna have a house phone, I wouldn't be able to communicate today. Students do not use house phones anymore. They only use cell phones and text messages. We have students that date that don't even talk to each other. They only talk text, okay? Speech to text. AI is a great tool. Lee College has to get behind it, and we have to empower and educate students on great ways and the benefits to use it.
Thank you very much. Ms. Morfano, you have a 45-second rebuttal.
Okay, wonderful. First thing we need to do is create policy. We cannot just jump into any new innovation without the research. Now, granted, the research on AI is sound. It's something we should do because we're preparing our students for the future. Faculty need to be trained in AI in order to educate our students appropriately. You should find something in the syllabus where it indicates that AI, how it is going to be used. So it starts with administration, with faculty, with review, and then we bring it down to the student level. I think it's important for our students because
I wholeheartedly think this is a conversation that shouldn't be top down. We should implore students to be a part of that conversation. The fact of the matter is, with our age, we're getting older. These students know more about technology than a lot of the people that are making the policies. So it's very important that we include them in these conversations, not after, us old folks have talked about it, but while we're making the decision, because they know firsthand what it's like. So, thank you.
For the next. And ethical leadership. Please describe your understanding of academic freedom and shared governance as you think those concepts should be supported at Lee College.
Academic freedom
And shared governance. Mhm.
Okay, so to me, academic freedom, choice and the right to pursue what my heart desires. Okay, governance is the way that it's governed, the way that you oversee it. I feel that all students should have the opportunity to pursue what they see fit. This is supposed to be the land of opportunity. As a young student, I did not know what I wanted to do at 18 years of age. I'm happy to tell you that I went through 5 majors. I graduated as a business marketing major, and now I'm an educator. Right? So there are things that I needed freedom and just time to find my way. And that doesn't happen. Every student is going to be different. We have to understand and give them some freedom. Now, with governance, we need to make sure that everything is above board and that everyone plays by the same rules with how those things are dictated out. But as far as freedom, you have to give students freedom. You have to give them the parameters to soar. Like, we cannot limit these students. If we give them opportunities, they will show us how far they can go. Local governance, the most important thing that I see local governments doing is handling the financial situation, which I don't feel like we have done. And the last 5 years, we have increased our budget by $30 million. Only 1 million of that has gone toward instruction. That's a shame, while 15 million has gone toward institutional support and operations and maintenance. How can we say we're an education institution and we're spending that much more money on, not on instruction? If we're instructing kids and teaching them, that's where your local governance should be looking at how we're spending money to support our students.
okay, I think you asked 2 questions. One was academic freedom and the other is shared governance. Academic freedom applies to faculty who are teaching and are educating. And we need to make sure that our teachers First Amendment rights are protected. So there is a curriculum. So there's a balance between what a person wants to teach and what's in the curriculum. Shared governance is the ability to participate in policy decisions at the campus level. How do we do that? We have a faculty assembly, we have a staff assembly, we have participation by all levels. We have 3 assemblies, in fact. So that gives us, thank you.
Professors, teachers, staff, whether that's at the dual credit level or at the junior college level, should definitely follow by the adhered standards that have been set for them, but they should have some freedom to reach students. Every teacher and educator has their own experience that gives them the ability to reach certain students at different times. Thank you.
Thank you. We now have the last of the questions for the candidates in this phase, and that will be from the category of personal motivation and commitment. This is obviously addressed to Regent Morfano. How do you stay informed about trends and challenges in community college education?
Well, that one is probably the easiest question I've had all night. I am president of the State Organization of Community College Trustees, and I am in the forefront of creating policies and change that impact 700,000 students across the state of Texas and 50 community colleges. So I live this every day. I have a meeting, a Zoom meeting, whether it's on the state level, the local level, or the national level. I am representing Lee College. I'm currently involved in presenting at the legislature on matters of importance, especially funding. It's important that we continue House Bill 8 and we get the state level funding that we have had for the last 2 years. I'm a regular presenter at state and national conferences, and I am looking at the trends that are in education, in higher education, whether it's guided pathways, enrollment management, outcome-based funding, data-informed governance, or any of the strategies that help to yield high student success. So we have board retreats where we're involved, and everything that we look at is evidence-based. We want to look at data that shows us how to improve our educational programs. Thank you.
If I wanted to run for a state or national position, I would have ran for that. I'm not concerned with things that are going on primarily for this position. I'm running in my community. It doesn't make sense for us to care and put state and local things first when we have things that need to be fixed in our own community. I'm a community servant first, and that is this community, Baytown, Highlands, Mont Bellevue. That is what I'm running for. That is who I seek to serve. It's great that you hold all these titles and things that you're doing, but we have to address problems right here at home before we focus on everywhere else.
Thank you. I appreciate that comment. And I think it's real important to know that this is a form of education. Not only am I giving back to our state, but I'm bringing back to Lee College, because this is what makes Lee College great. It is why we got $20 million in funding because of the result of House Bill 8. It's that level of understanding of state policies that makes me an advocate and an asset to Lee College. Thank you.
Again, thank you all for your time at this debate. As a community servant, that is where my heart is, okay? I care truly about this community. I'm a student first person and I care about staff, teachers, professors, and I think that we do need leadership. Okay. I think Regent Fontenot is a phenomenal woman. I have the utmost respect for her. I also know that she started this election when Ronald Reagan was president in this position. All right. At sometimes it's okay to pass the torch. I think that my communication with students, local communities, and schools and institutions will help me and help the community bridge the gap of communication. I really think that it's time for a change, and I think that we can grow the community. I look forward to serving for you all. I thank you for all of your time. Please get out and vote. Voting starts on the 22nd through the 29th, and then May 3rd is Election Day. But regardless of the results of what happened, I look forward to serving this community and this college. I've served on this college without having a seat on the table, and that won't change regardless of what happens in this election. I truly love this community. I love the people that serve it, and I look forward to being a great regent for you all. Thank you.
2 minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In my closing statement, I'd like to point out that I am ready to help us improve transfer rates. We have to work hard at that. I am ready to continue forward in removing obstacles that prevent our students from persisting. I am committed to looking at how we can improve our facilities where we have dated infrastructure. I'm committed to helping make sure that we remain fiscally sound. I thank you for supporting my candidacy. And I want to say that age and advocacy have no expiration date. So I'm extremely excited about continuing to work in this capacity. Thank you.
So with that, we've come to a necessary intermission period. I'm going to turn this over to Karen Guthmiller for some comments. Round B. Surprise, it called me here. Whoa, good Lord. It is packets. And again, to confirm, while I'm sure our folks out there in YouTube land are using the bathroom busily while we're waiting, you're more than welcome to go grab a drink of water or use the bathroom while we are compiling these questions.
Okay, we're ready to get started with the second part. So if you could please take your seats. We appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'll go A. That means I go first and last? All right. Can't turn that one down.
All right, so we have now resumed. Obviously, we're looking at the seat 6 position at this point. We'll begin with Mr. Isaac, who won the toss and has elected to go in position A.
Thank you very much, Joe. Thank you very much to the Faculty Senate here tonight for hosting this forum, AKA debate. I'm not sure what we've categorized it as just yet, but good evening, everyone. First, I want to thank Faculty Senate again for organizing this forum and giving us the opportunity to speak directly to all of us. Your work matters here. I appreciate the time and energy it took to make tonight happen. My name is David Isaac. I'm running for position 6, Lee College Board of Regents. Let me start by telling you what I am not. I'm not quiet, I'm not dumb, and I'm not a liar. I believe leadership means showing up, speaking up, and standing up for what is right, for what is needed, and for what the people need to be represented. That's what I've been doing across our entire district, from District 1 over to the ETJ. Some of you may know me through my work organizing events, advocating at City Council, collaborating with community groups and small businesses. I've been visible, I've been engaged, and I've been active because I've realized that real change happens when we build strong relationships and we become those people on the ground. I'm running for the Board of Regents because I believe we can do more. We can do better. We can have a more transparent, a more accountable, and a better decision-making board if the community can be behind it, and if it truly reflects the needs of our students, our faculty, and our community. That means asking questions. It means listening to concerns deeply and being willing to challenge the status quo, even when it's an easy path not to. While I respect the work that's been done on many on the board, I also believe it's time for fresh energy. I believe it's time for a new perspective. I want to bring a stronger voice to the table, one that won't sit silently during important decision-making, one that will always keep the community in mind. My name is David Isaac. I'm not quiet, I'm not dumb, and I'm not going to lie. I'm here to lead with honesty, with courage, and a deep commitment to making Lee College stronger for everyone in our community. Thank you very much for your time. You can visit votedavidisaac.com if you'd like more information. Arigato gozaimasu.
Thank you, Mr. Isaac. Regent Fondo, you have a 4-minute opening statement.
Do I sit down now, Joe, or do I?
Good evening. I am Darrell Fontenot, and I am running for Lee College Board of Regents, position 6. I am seeking re-election to continue the trajectory the college is currently on. I believe we are operating at our highest level in our 91-year history. We have record enrollment and continually increasing graduation rates. We have a strong fund balance and have lowered the tax rate 4 times during my 6 years on the board. I am running to keep the momentum going. A few of our accomplishments over my 6 years on the board include implementing First Time Free at Lee to provide free tuition, fees, and books to our newly enrolled students in our service area, a total renovation of our nursing facility with state-of-the-art equipment, doubling capacity for nursing students, and a 100% licensure rate. We obtained state and voter approval for a branch campus in Mount Bellevue and are expanding our service capabilities in Chambers County. We completed a major expansion of the Student Access and Resource Center, providing students with free access to basic needs like clothing, transportation, hygiene products, childcare, and the largest food pantry in the state of Texas. This was made possible by a $5 million McKinsey Scott gift. We implemented Timely Care that provides free medical and mental health services to all students and part-time employees. We achieved a 15% increase in graduation rates in the past 3 years.
a 50% increase in enrollment of first-time college students, a 47% increase in enrollment of first-generation students, achieved a 50% increase in enrollment in our Huntsville Center, and an 80% graduation rate. We lowered the tax rate 4 times from 25 cents in 2020 to 19.5 cents currently, a total of 22% in decreases. We raised the over 65 exemption from 50,000 to 120,000. We increased the maintenance budget from $1 million in fiscal year 2020 to over $5 million today. We reduced outstanding bond debt by $6 million since fiscal year 2023. We invested $27 million on infrastructure projects since fiscal year 2020. Our most critical issues moving forward are our infrastructure and the successful launch of our branch campus in Mount Bellevue. We are currently working with an architectural firm to develop a facilities master plan to address our infrastructure needs. From this process, we'll explore how best to finance these needs. Regarding the branch campus, we're working closely with our partners at Barber Hill ISD to craft a memorandum of understanding under which to operate and maintain the branch campus. As we move forward, I see the college expanding its presence deeper into our coverage area, using the branch campus model as a template to better serve our students in the outer reaches of our coverage area, like Dayton, Liberty, and Hardin counties, and East Chambers County. The culture of Lee College is our greatest strength. You simply have to attend a retirement party for a faculty member or a staff member, or attend Community College Day at the state capitol with our student leaders to see how special Lee College is to everyone it touches. The word family is used a lot when speaking to faculty, staff, and students. We are changing lives for the better every day through the services that we provide, and I am proud to serve on this board. I'm asking for your vote so that we can keep the momentum going. Thank you.
Regent, no. So, Mr. Isaac, you will have the first question, and it will be from the category of strategic vision and leadership. What demographic changes do you foresee in the Lee College service area over the next decade? And what is your vision for the future of our community college over the next 10 or more years?
Thank you, Joe. First and foremost, I think we're starting to get more students, I think, that can speak more than one language. I myself, I speak more than one language. As many of you know, I speak Japanese. I had to learn that. I think we're going to have many international families try to move here. At least that's part of my vision anyway. One of the ways that we can raise funds for this school is not just through taxation all the time from state level or even local level. We can also make this place attractive internationally. International tuition is much more than local tuition or outside of the district tuition. International tuition, out-of-state tuition pays much more. We got the Project Vector Event Center that we're building with ExxonMobil. We're gonna need people on this board that's been a part of making events happen, events matter. We're gonna need somebody with an innovative mind, somebody who knows and understands esports, somebody with a 21st century education, somebody who's in touch. That's what I think it is. And we're going to talk maybe more about technology and AI and things like that. And we can touch on it when it gets there. It goes quite quick. It does, yeah.
I'd like to see the college expand deeper into our coverage area by duplicating the branch campus model that we're putting into place at Barbers Hill ISD. I'd also like to see the college improve transfer rates to four-year institutions and to improve the initial experience of our students. If we can get new students to complete 5 courses, they have an 80% chance of completing a credential. I'd like to see the college address its crumbling infrastructure that has been neglected for many, many years. And finally, I would like to see the college continue to improve our success metrics that are required to maintain our state funding levels. Our funding from the state has gone from 15% of our total to approximately 33% of our total funding currently under House Bill.
And your time has elapsed.
So that's important to note that he did mention that they have been neglecting infrastructure for quite a long time here on the board. It's a shame we have to wait 6-year terms just to get to a point to have this discussion about wasting funds and not spending time on things that do matter, like critical infrastructure on the board. And although my opponent boasted that he lowered the tax rate, that's not the same thing as how he increased the no new revenue tax rate. That is essentially a tax increase. He did that in October of 2023. Regent
And your
Hall,
time is up.
Judy Geralds, and Hall voted against it.
We're moving on to the next question. This comes from the category of educational quality and student success. This is for Regent Fonda with a 2-minute opening speech. Discuss what you know of college accreditation and what is the board's role in helping the college maintain its accreditation.
I know that it comes about I believe it's every 8 years, accreditation. I'm not my strongest area, I will gladly admit. But we're currently in the midst of it, and it is taking up a great deal of the leadership team's time. It's a very important thing. Being an accredited institution helps greatly with our federal funding and also the ability to attract grants and things of that nature. So that's what I know about accreditation. Serving our students' needs at this college, we have a great deal of underrepresented students. 70% of our students have at least one unmet basic need. So the Student Resource and Advocacy Center is something that we put in place to address those needs, where our students can get up to 120 pounds of food each month.
And your time has elapsed.
Thank you.
Mr. Isaac, a 45-second rebuttal.
Accreditation has a lot to do with the quality of the curriculum that we're hosting here on a state level. When we look at state level requirements, we have to make sure that each department is doing what they're supposed to do in terms of here on campus. And that's why it's good that we have good governance, that we don't always expect to govern ourselves. That's why we need to institute an ethics commission, perhaps, just like I advocated for at City Hall, where it's citizen-based, it's citizen-driven. We shouldn't be our own cops. Another thing is that student government hasn't had a good increase for over 20 years. Although impact students come here on campus, use our facilities, they don't pay into the system. We're not using any of these new ways, creative ways of making sure students have more tools. Student government is essential. Student government helped emerge me on the world scene.
And your
I think
time
we
is
need to
elapsed.
do that instead of not knowing about accreditation.
And Regent Fonda, a 30-second rebuttal.
I can tell you that my experience with student government leadership was recently in Austin for Community College Day at the legislature, and they were our best advocates in talking to the state representatives and state senators. Did a fabulous job in getting the word across about Lee College and the wonderful things that we're doing here. They are truly our greatest ambassadors. So very proud of our Student Government Association leadership.
And your time is up. All right, we return to you for another question. This one is from the category of financial oversight and resource management. What opportunities and risks do you see in the new community college funding formula that was adopted 2 years ago?
Repeat the question.
What opportunities and risks do you see in the new community college funding formula that was adopted 2 years ago?
Okay, so the new funding mechanism, it's based on student success metrics. So as I stated earlier about the importance of increasing transfer rates, it's one of the most important parts of that legislation, and also getting students to complete certification. So we are showing great strides in all of that with our increasing graduation rate. So I feel that Lee College is in a very strong place to continue to maintain the funding that we were granted under House Bill 8. And we're certainly on a strong path for that, steadily increasing enrollment and steadily increasing graduation rates. These are all parts of, important parts of the House Bill 8 funding mechanism. So.
I think certainly one of the risks that we have with the new funding rate, obviously, is that we want to put this on the backs of the taxpayer. Not too long after this was instituted, if you look at October 2023, school board of regents meeting, we decided to raise a tax rate above the no new tax revenue rate. What does that mean? That means this college decided on the backs of the taxpayer to extract as much money as they can possible without going for voter approval rate. It's below the voter approval rate, that's above the no new revenue tax rate. So when we talk about the risk, I think Mr. Fontenot isn't being entirely forthcoming when we talk about the risk. Some of that risk has to do with putting a lot of our operations on the backs of the taxpayer. You also heard him say that they avoided maintenance. They
And your time
avoided
has elapsed.
infrastructure for many years. We got to change that.
Time has elapsed. Mr. Fontenot, 30 seconds on the clock.
Okay, yes, we collected more revenue. We control the tax rate. That is all we control. We do not control the appraisal rates, and, you know, we manage what we can. And as far as any increase in tax revenue that was received, it was poured back into these facilities, as I pointed out in my opening statement, of $27 million being spent on infrastructure since I've joined the board. And we have many, many more millions that need to.
And your time has elapsed. Thank you. We will return for one final time with the fourth question from the category of governance and ethical leadership. This 2-minute opening is for Mr. Isaac. How do you approach resolving conflict and building consensus amongst board members?
Well, certainly you got to look at all the facts. You got to listen deeply. It's just the same way I've been able to run an international company, going back and forth to different countries and working on my own. Building a consensus happens to see, you got to know how to work with people. What makes people tick? I know one thing for sure is you don't stand quiet. You don't be a rubber stamp for the elite. And you don't just sit here and say, this is enough for me because so-and-so said so. You got to think for yourself. You got to represent people. You got to fight for people. When you have an appraisal rate that Harris County takes a look at, and you have the tax rate that we take a look at, the tax rate already includes the appraisal rate. Mr. Fontenot, once again, isn't being entirely forthcoming about your taxes. They raised your taxes. They decided to claw more from the taxpayer without going to the taxpayer for a vote. And this is something important that the Baytown Sun should write about, should address accordingly, and talk about with clarity and sobriety. Thank you.
Mr. Regent Fontenot, you have a 45-second rebuttal.
Okay, as far as addressing conflict, we're very blessed. This board gets along very well, but when we do have disagreements, we have them openly and try to achieve a compromise. You will see this. Attend any budget workshop, you'll see this sort of thing. But if it is something that can't be addressed, thoroughly in discussion, and some conflicts may linger, we address them in executive session where HR matters are normally taken up. And we have our annual retreat where we bring in a facilitator from ACCT to help address these sorts of matters more in-depthly.
Thank you, Regent Fontenot. Mr. Isaac, a 30-second rebuttal.
Once again, no discussion about the actual tax rate. That's why Mr. Fontenot did not fill out the survey that every other candidate, including the incumbent, Ms. Susan Moore Fontenot, filled out the survey from BaytownInfo.com when they asked very important questions about the tax rate, very important questions about ethics, very important questions about the opportunities and ethics here on campus. And Mr. Fontenot, once again, won't answer truthfully about the tax rate. It's completely different things. No, they do not control appraisals here. They do control the rate.
And your time is
decided to
elapsed.
adopt the rate higher.
Thank you. So at this point, we have a series of closing statements of 2 minutes each. We begin with Regent Fontenot.
Experience matters. We have a great deal of experience on this board, and each member has a deep love for this college and this community. We have built up a great deal of momentum in what we have accomplished over the past 6 years, and I am asking for your vote so that we can keep the momentum going. Thank you.
We now turn to Mr. Isaac for a 2-minute closing statement.
Thank you again for the Faculty Senate for hosting tonight's forum. I want to thank everyone who took the time out to come here and engage. I want to leave you with this. Lee College deserves leadership.
service.
Community servant leader for well 25 years. I currently serve on the Bay Area Homeless Services Board. I have served on the Lee College Education Foundation Board. I'm the longest serving secretary in the Rotary Club of Baytown history. I've served proudly in every office except Sergeant at Arms in the Rotary Club of Baytown. I am a past president of the St. Joseph Regional Catholic School. I serve as a lector at my church, Holy Family Catholic Church, and I am proud, to serve on this board. So community service is something that is part of my fiber. I believe strongly in the Bible saying that to whom much is given, much is required and expected. And my favorite quote.
We've reached the 1 minute mark.
Okay.
Sorry to be so strict, but that's for everybody involved. We're turning to Mr. Isaac. 1 minute on the clock. Do you need me to repeat the question?
Yes, please.
Can you describe your commitment to the region in terms of service and how you have impacted the community through that service?
Well, over in District 1, you can ask them about what environmental issues I've worked on, had sit-downs. I've also helped find the Promise Center a permanent home in District 2. You've seen me all throughout Texas Avenue from the 2010s on, having events at places like Court Grinders with international music. I've also worked closely with the councilman to help promote the sale of the building of the North Pruitt dilapidated building. In District 3, I was the only person to help stand up and fight to reclaw $3.25 million for the mall. In District 4, I helped individuals try to get sovereignty for their land. The city treaded on their land. The list goes on. Out in the ETJ, I got ETJ representation on the Economic Advisory Development. Councilman Griffith mentioned that last night. When it comes to my service, what I'm willing to do, I don't sit behind a board, and I don't go to any of the hoity-toity parties that have been mentioned a couple times tonight. But what I do is I get on the ground, I show up, I go to the meetings without
time is
anyone's
elapsed.
permission, but on my own accord.
Yeah, thank you. Regent Morfando, 1 minute on the clock.
Okay. As far as my commitment to this community, I currently serve on the Goose Creek Education Foundation Committee. That brings me back to the community, bridging the gap between Goose Creek and Lee College. I serve in the Pollock Club. I chair the Education Committee. We've given about $100,000 back into the community with scholarships just in the 10 years that I've been a part of Pilot Club. Top Ladies of Distinction, I serve to educate our teens, to help them to progress and become good citizens here in Baytown. I serve as a deaconess on the deaconess board at my church, and I have helped to find 3 presidents for this college, working with the community to chair the search committee for Lee College. Lee College is our
your
number
time
1
is elapsed.
asset.
Mr. Thomas, the same question.
Always putting God first. I serve Faith Family here in Baytown on the youth organization, the youth team, active with communities and schools. I founded a mentorship program named the TIE program that mentors young men that are trying to find their way into young adulthood. I serve on the Bay Area's Homeless Service Junior Board Committee. I also am a board member on Bay Area Rehab Center. Prior to me joining Barbers Hill and Goose Creek, I was a part of the Here We Grow Giants Committee. I'm proud that I've been a 2-time award winner from Top Ladies of Distinction, and I continue to serve my community every chance I get. I'm a true community servant at heart, always looking to give back to the community and students. Thank you.
Thank you. The second audience question, and one I'm pretty sure was submitted by one of my students, making me kind of a proud papa. This is first for Mr. Isaac, then Regent Morfando, then Mr. Thomas, and then Regent Fontenot. The question, many Lee College students work in the industrial labor sector, and industrial laborers are the backbone of not just Lee College, but America as a whole. What steps or policies would you implement to better support these students?
Well, I know one person the incumbents have talked a lot about what's been achieved at Lee College the past 6 years, and I do want to thank somebody who does deserve a lot of credit for all that work. Dr. Villanueva and the administration here on campus. Thank you very much for a lot of your hard work. I want to be able to try to contribute with that by saying that, sorry, can you repeat the question again, Joe?
Certainly. Many Lee College students work in the industrial labor sector, and industrial labor.
One
is
of the things,
backbone
thank
of
you,
not
Joe, I
just
got
the-
it. One of the things I really like is the industrial development and what they've been doing over the last year. Dr. V instituted where the AC and heating, those industrial programs that have been developing, I really like that. And of course, your contributions as well to Mr. and Ms. Fontenot. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going on to Regent Moore Fontenot. Same question. Would you want me to repeat it?
Yes,
It
please
is
do.
typically written by a Lee College student.
Wonderful.
Many Lee College students work in the industrial labor sector, and industrial laborers are the backbone of not just Lee College, but America as a whole. What steps or policies would you implement to better support these students?
Our students deserve to have scholarship opportunities to ensure that they can enroll and participate in the programs. I think we need to make sure that we have apprenticeship programs or internship programs where these students can apply their learning, get an opportunity to work alongside persons who are in the field and get job opportunities. I know that our community serves 26% of, we serve 20, in our CATE programs, career and technical education programs, we are the #1 producer of students who need internships in, to work in our workforce. So we want to make sure that we provide those opportunities for students to be successful. Thank you.
I like to improve communication. We know that there are tons of jobs out there and students just don't have the access to the information. I just recently had a conversation with representatives from Brown and Root Company who are constantly looking for people to enter the workforce. There are many jobs and professions that are available making good money for those students that aren't seeking to be four-year students. We have to meet students where they are. I will improve communication with local high schools and incoming college students so that they know about the opportunities afforded to them. There's not an issue with lack of jobs. There's problems with students knowing the opportunities that are out there. And that's where I plan on bridging the gap. There's all kind of trades that students can get, and we do a great job at doing certifications for those students, but I do think we could do better with communication.
Regent Fontenot.
Repeat the question one more time.
Certainly. Many Lee College students work in the industrial labor sector, and industrial laborers are the backbone of not just Lee College, but America as a whole. What steps or policies would you implement to better followed by Regent Fontenot, followed by Mr. Isaac. Regent Moore Fontenot, what is your first priority if elected in this position?
I had to think we have so many things that are going on at the college, and to be able to decide what is the first priority. My #1 priority is student success. So everything that we do needs to have that filter that we're providing the best education possible for our students. As we are in this legislative session, it's important to monitor what the state is going to give us because we have three prongs of funding. We've not increased student tuition for the last 5 years. So I want to make sure that we are advocating as much as we possibly can to get the state funding that we need so that we don't have to go back to our taxpayers. But if we can get increased funding from the state, that's important to me.
Thank you very much. Mr. Thomas.
My first priority would probably to be a needs assessment with the students. I find it ironic that we're toting record enrollment and all of these advances with new enrollment for students. And we've increased since 2020 the budget by 30 million, and only 1 million of that has gone toward instruction. With the new model that they're mentioning, we cannot say that we are giving the best instruction if we're steadily growing and only increasing instruction by 1 million when institutional support is increased by almost 9 million. Plant maintenance has increased by 6 million. We're supposed to be an institution of instruction. How can we increase all these things and not increase the most vital thing? In 2020, the #1 budget was instruction. I'd like to know why it's no longer the #1 priority on the budget. That would be my questions on day one.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. We now move to Regent Fontenot.
There's a number of ways to improve instruction, and I think the college has done a great job with the improvements that we've made in technology. Certainly, the pandemic taught us that, and we had to pivot very quickly and made great improvements in the technology that's in the classroom, and also having the highest quality instructors that you can have is very important. And last year, we gave one of the biggest raises in the college's history to our staff and faculty. So being able to attract the best employees to the college is tantamount in that equation. So, but also I have to come back. I serve on the building committee, so infrastructure, addressing those building needs. We want our students to have. Look at this facility that recently underwent a massive facelift. We want to be able to do this around the campus, and we have buildings that are beyond salvaging and have to be torn down.
Your time
and
is
replaced
elapsed.
with something new. So,
And finally, Mr. Isaac.
So the #1 thing I would like to do is enhance transparency around here. I mean, if you're going to raise our taxes, if you're going to make a tax hike, I want to see it on video. It needs to be video recorded. So that would be my day one declaration. From now on, let's video record these meetings. People should be able to see it. I mean, we got this debate on YouTube, and we don't even video record our board meetings here at Lee College. We need to turn the page and welcome ourselves to the 21st century. Another thing I would do is I would make sure that we would get real tax relief. I'm fighting for that. I'm looking for that, and I'm not trying to dupe you with the no new tax revenue rate or go below the voter approval rate. And then finally, ethical review. If we can create ethical review and look at what happened the last 10 years, there's money that's been missing, straight up. There's also been unethical board members, one of them sitting in the room today, that we need to look into what they have done. And that's just keeping it real, looking into the past, looking into what we have done so it doesn't happen again. We need ethics here just as much as we do at City Hall. Thank you.
All right, time is up. Again, I would remind all candidates that this is expected to remain civil at all times. We turn to the fourth of 4 questions. We'll go in sequence for Mr. Thomas, Regent Fontenot, Mr. Isaac, and Regent Moore Fontenot. The question is as follows. Regents have been busy touring the campus to assess our current and future needs. What do you believe are the most pressing facility concerns and goals as we move towards the college's centennial anniversary?
So I think there's benefit on being an incumbent because you have access to firsthand knowledge. Obviously, I'm not an incumbent. I haven't been a part of any tours, so I can't speak to firsthand knowledge. However, I have spoken to students that live in certain dorms. There definitely needs to be improvement on facilities. When I do go to some places on the college, we know that it's old, but I do think that we have to be fiscally responsible. I think that had we given tax breaks and lowered the tax rate, we'd be more prone for opportunity to go to the citizens and ask a bond. Looking at the current landscape of our community, Goose Creek has not been able to pass bonds. People are upset about certain projects going on within the city. So we have to be good stewards of the money so that we can come back and ask for bonds if we're going to need those type of
First of all is safety. We want to make sure our buildings are safe. ADA, we want to make sure that we meet the Americans with Disabilities Act. We want to make sure that we have created a college where students want to come because it is a safe environment.
And
Those,
time has elapsed.
thank you.
So with the bully pulpit, first, at least from my part and on behalf of my timekeeper, Tara, thank you all for coming this evening. I hope that you understand that part of my training is in political science as well as speech communication. I do believe that courtesy and civility are being lost in our current political process. I say that as someone who studies elections, much like somebody would study statistics in any sport that they're passionate about. That being said, I appreciate the audience, and also I appreciate every candidate who's currently sitting on the dais this evening for engaging in a very necessary form of public discourse. With that being said, I'd now like to turn it back over to Karen Guthmiller for some closing remarks.
Well, I would like to reiterate exactly what was just said. I do appreciate each candidate being here and being willing to express your points of view. I think it's very important that we have this opportunity to hear from their perspectives. I also want to thank our marketing and our IT staff for being here to support this event tonight. They do an outstanding job for many, many events, and I appreciate them being here. But I also want to thank you all for being here and taking the time to listen to how we hope that our regents are governing and what is important for them to serve us at Lee College. And so I thank you for being here. I thank those that are tuning in with YouTube. Again, it's recorded if you want to look at it again, and I encourage you to vote. Thank you.